What's up, guys? Thought I'd just play around with it on video. So there's a third one of these that's I didn't actually bring it out with me. I added a small little bit of power cord there just to make it, well, I don't know if it makes it more comfortable, to be honest. I think it's just about the same. Now this is quite a dry piece of log, and I've chopped it already in a few pieces, playing around with it for a few days, and bit difficult on these logs to chop because it's kind of wandering around. I could have done a better job of that, but and it's pretty dry wood. I was testing it out earlier on some more fresh trees that are much thicker than that, and it just sinks right in. So, you know, we're not looking for the best chopper in the world here. We're really just playing around with a cool blade concept that's lightweight, portable. I mean, look at this, you can't even notice that it's really here, right? So this is, hold on, I'm just gonna, sheaths are a little tight, so you kind of want to put it back in without any gunk on it, and then I just leave it on with a clip like that. Super easy to take on and off, and I can use one hand to pull it out, which is pretty neat. Right, so the newer ones, this is the shortest that a handle is gonna get. I'll be making them a centimeter longer, so they're all gonna be 12 centimeter long handles. I'm gonna do a video tomorrow with number 3 so you can see it. You know, this is a really fun gadget, really fun tool to have around. I'm thinking what I would like to do, I think as a concept, right, it would make sense to actually have it like stored here, right? You just pull it out because it's about the same length as a shin, so you can just put it in, pull it out, you know, grab a log and chop with it. I don't know if you can actually see from it. It chops really good. I don't get tired using it. It's so light. You know, it's nothing excessive. And when you think about it in terms also of martial arts, what you're looking for is the lightest, longest thing. And you know, there's a lot of guys that practice with those sticks, right? They do that shit, right? You got two of these. It's very similar, very familiar. I don't know. Personally, I think if I were to defend, I would hold it like this, and I would use the spine to block, because then you can block and then you can do a flick. All right, so right, you can block and strike with a pretty solid thick spine surface, and that'll do the job. You don't need to use up the edge on the bone, or I don't know, some kind of metallic stuff. But you can hear it, it's very fast. Very light. I lose my breath pretty easily, but I didn't really there. So, I mean, again, it's not a fighting knife. It's just a long, cool, light blade that you can bring with you easily on a camp or whatever. You might even fillet shit with this, you know? But you want to start a fire. You see, you can feather stick some stuff with it. I'm not even, you know, properly trying, but it's so long that I guess you could feather stick a log like this. But it's a very lovely knife. I think the full steel version, just like this, I'm gonna have for sale at 120 euros, and then I'll just let it be like that. If somebody wants me to do a parkour, maybe I will. Tomorrow I'll show you guys the video on number 3. I'm not gonna test the other knives. I'm gonna do I'm gonna do the vast majority of the tests on this blade, because I don't want to make like 16 of them for testing for myself, right? I'm just gonna do a bunch of testing videos, and just we're gonna see how it operates over a long period of time, over basic use. You know, I'm not gonna go and start smashing into rock straight away with it. Yeah, you know, personally, I think the best way to test a knife, of course, is just to use it every day for 2 or 3 years, and then what you think about it. So that's like the way I test things. And a knife like this, I can say so far that this is actually a pretty nice knife to have around, whether it's your car knife or whether it's you know, a boat knife. Now the problem, of course, is not stainless steel, so you don't really want to keep this in a boat. But like for camping, like again, these are like less than 400 grams each. So, and you get a very long reach. The overall length of the knife is like 40 to 45 centimeters. So the handle is 12. Well, this one it's 11. They're going to be longer, the other ones. So yeah, can't really go wrong with that. And I haven't done too much batoning with this design yet. Granted, it is a little narrow. It's nice to have slightly taller blades for batoning, but you do have that length, so you can go from both sides. And the thing is, if you choose your wood carefully for batoning, it almost doesn't really matter what knife you're using. So you know, it's not so much the batoning that damages the knife. It's not so much the knife that's designed that's at fault. When we're talking about batoning, 99% of the time it's just the log choice. What choice of log, like which log did you choose to baton? Now of course you can make a knife that'll baton through knots, you know, of course, but that's maybe more what this is for, right? So that's actually an interesting thought. Hold on, maybe I put this one here. These have been on the ground, they're a little dusty, so I don't want to damage. Yeah, this one bites hard, but and it's much shorter, so they're both decent choppers. It's a bit easier when it's longer though. But yeah, again, we're not trying to invent the most amazing thing ever in the world here, just playing with what we got. These are made from coil spring steel. It's modern German stuff. It heat treats really well. I know other knife makers that use it. Everyone's tested it, and everybody's coming up with around 60 Rockwell hardness. And yeah, it's overall a great steel. When it comes to carbon steels for knives, you know, personally, when it's knives like these, I don't see really the point of any other choice than spring steels. Because logically, you would want, you're already getting more hardness than you would ever dream of for most applications. Like, especially if you think historically, like for last few thousand years, like spring steel is already like quite a handful in terms of steel capabilities that we haven't had, you know, for hundreds of years. So we never had before until quite recently. So it's an amazing steel, and I go for toughness. Just, I like to know that, you know, it's the steel that I can bash around, you know, a little bit. So 60 Rockwell hardness is pretty good. It's not 5160, this steel. This is it's some other spring steel, but I have like 30-40 coils, enough to make enough of these for an entire army. So yeah, that's how it's gonna be. See, I can sort of do some little carving, you know, skinning if you want to. I was eating some sausages the other day with this. It's pretty nice for that, you know. Again, this is just like supposed to be a redneck kind of shank that you just have around with you for some heavy work. Now again, you know, when it comes to knives, the sharpness is so important. So if you don't take care of your knives and you don't sharpen them, they're gonna, it's, you know, a lot of it comes down to that. So if you want maximum performance out of any knife, you got to keep it sharp and you got to take care of it. So far a lot of people like these. It's gained a certain amount of popularity with the close friends. Sort of everybody wants one now. So for now, I'm gonna have them at $120 just for the full metal one, and I'm gonna make more. I'm gonna make a shitload more. So, and I love making these because it's a little bit like practicing how to forge a katana, especially when you're doing the low heat forging, when you're getting the blade to the final shape and you're really just trying to get the best. Oh, there's some of my skin on there. It's pretty sharp, but it's kind of like, you know, I'm practicing making like katana shapes, really. Hundreds of these. And you can see the hammer dimple marks. These are just, you know, nice little addition, adds a little charm. We got all the writing on the bottom that we saw before, the rivet lock, so it stays firm in the sheath. So again, it's such a long blade that, like, generally with a blade like this, the friction inside the plastic is more than enough. But you know, it's nice to like just have a mental lock, you know, like when you put it in, you hear that lock and you know it ain't coming out. So I could even see just there. So you have to do quite a lot to get it out of there. And this is just this one. So the first one. Let's see what it's gonna look like at 100 and something.